My name's Paul White, from partner at the Lincoln office of Brown&Co, business consultant, and I'm here today with Paul Waberski, also business consultant from our Leicester office. We're here today to talk about contract farming and the impact of reducing basic payment. But to start off with, Paul, when we talk about contract farming, what are we talking about and what we're not talking about?
Well, so specifically today, I'd like to talk about the joint venture type, where two farmers come together. The one farmer brings the infrastructure, potentially buildings, grain stores, and the land. The other farmer brings the men, the machinery, the technology. So, and when you look at the performance of that, both parties are rewarded according to the financial performance, as opposed to other arrangements whereby you just pay for a service as such. So this is a real working together joint venture type contract farming arrangement. Okay,
so we know that basic payment is reducing. We know that's going to transition into sustainable farm incentive and ELMS. So why we're thinking that the treatment of that should change?
Okay, that again is a good question. So roughly speaking, if we talk about BPS has been in the region of £90 an acre for the last 2 years. You quite rightly say that is going down to zero. In some contract farming arrangements, that income has come into the pot as such, and with some arrangements it stayed outside. We believe what we need to start doing is looking holistically at the whole farm and the return per acre or per hectare to the farmer and the contractor. So out of those arrangements, that £90 an acre is going to disappear, whether it went straight to the farmer or whether it came into the pot. So in some way, to maintain that level of return per acre, we need to focus on other objectives to keep that return per acre or per hectare to both parties at a similar level to now.
Okay, yeah, thanks, Paul. And we're seeing countryside stewardship, mid-tier stewardship in particular, becoming more popular within contract farming arrangements and farming generally. So if we're considering ELMS coming into a contract farming arrangement, about stewardship?
Again, I think it is part of the future, so it needs to be part of the arrangement. And the great thing with these joint venture contract farming arrangements is the ability for us to write into them what we want. So I see there being an arrangement where the contractor is likely to have to carry out the task to establish those stewardship features and needs to be rewarded for that. But obviously, it's not as much as taking a crop right through to harvest. So those rates have to be at a different level. So I see a system whereby income from those stewardship payments can come into the account, and the contractor is rewarded for the work that he does on that, but the farmer also, through the divisible surplus system, shares in the return from it.
Okay, in our changing, fast-changing world of agriculture, is there anything else we should be thinking about when we're reconsidering how a contract farming arrangement works?
Yes, it is changing. Crop prices up and down. So again, a huge benefit of these agreements is that the fact, unlike a farm business tenancy where the rent stays the same, for the life of the agreement, and the return to each party changes as does the market. We've got SFI coming along, so some way that needs to be integrated. And again, those are all sort of management practices, and in these arrangements, carried out a lot of the time by the contractor. So we need to incorporate that in some way as well, because it's all additional income. And I'll come back to my original point. We need to look at these farms holistically in terms of returns per acre to each party, and whatever we as a group together need to do to pursue that, the joint venture, both sides can bring elements to the party.
Okay, thanks, Paul. I think that concludes our discussion on contract farming, and thank you for listening.